Okay, students, we are going to go over some moon phases today. I do apologize for that light right there, but I promise you I will hold this up like this so that way you can get a really good glimpse once you're done. But you should be able to follow through. You should be able to follow through. All right, so moon phases. How many do we have? We have 8. We have 8 moon phases, and we are going to draw them. So get your pens out, your pencils, your colors, so you can be colorful with me. All right. Let's get my stylus. There it is. Oops, sorry about that. All right, so moon phases. Most important thing I always like to say about the moon phases is when you're trying to figure out the sequence of events, always remember everything moves in a counterclockwise direction, okay? So starting with choosing where we place our sun, I'm going to put the sun over here. Okay, here's our sun. I'm going to put the sun over here. Now, I can put the sun up here, I can put it here, I can put it up here. We are going to make sure we understand that wherever the sun is, that is where your new moon starts, okay? That is where your lunar phase begins, okay? So I will draw this little figure here. This just kind of help me out with where I'm going and what I'm doing. Okay, we know we're going to be talking about moon phases, so I'm going to go ahead and put those 4 main moon phases right here. Okay, and the reason why I say 4 main moon phases because we talk about these moon phases a lot with tides and neap tides and spring tides and what have you. And then we always have those in betweens, right? We need to understand those in betweens. So I'm going to go ahead and do this so I can draw the in betweens. Okay. All right. I'm not an artist, but I think I did good. All right. So, for the sake of me wanting to have an Earth, we know we're here on Earth, and we are going to see those different moon phases, different types of ways because of us being here on Earth, right? There's some water, got a lot of water on the Earth. Okay. I did the best I could. That's my Earth. All right. So when we discuss the lunar cycle, remember, everything goes in a counterclockwise direction. Counterclockwise direction. All right. So let's go ahead and begin. We have the new moon. Because the new moon is completely blacked out, I'm just going to go ahead and completely black it out. But do remember that the new moon may have a little shade of light around it, like a little halo, right? Because usually when you look up there and it's a completely dark moon, you can still see a little light on the rim. I usually say that's like maybe 0 to less than 1% of light, okay? So we have our new moon right there. That's our new moon. And if the sun on my paper was over here, then I would say this is the new moon. Remember, the new moon always starts wherever the sun is on your paper. All right? So we have our new moon, and then I'm going to do the main 4 first. Across from the new moon, I know that in 2 weeks, I'm going to have a fully illuminated moon. And for the sake of not confusing anyone, I'm just going to go ahead and make yellow the light, okay? Kind of gives you the idea of everything being lit. So you have a fully illuminated moon. And when all of the light is there, that is 100% light. And that is your full moon. Full moon. Okay, 100% light, okay, or illumination. Then right here, and I'll just put this because I want to make sure we put this. This is going to be 0% or less than 1% of light. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one and this one because remember, these are our main four right here. So right here, we would have our first quarter. And the best way to understand the first quarter is to know that it is your half moon and that the light is going to always be on the right side. Okay, let me make sure I write that right here. The light is always on the right side. So light on right during this phase, okay, during this entire half of the lunar cycle. The light is going to be on the right. So let's go ahead and give it some light. There we go. All right. Try to fill this in as best I can. All right. So we have light on the right. So because we know that the first quarter is going to be opposite of the third quarter, we know that the light would be on the left, right? So let's put the light here on the left. Okay, I did good. I did real good. Okay. And we're going to write those names in. Here we go. This is going to be your first quarter. And this is your third quarter or last quarter. Okay? Good? Awesome. So, let's go ahead and just put that line there. All right. Make it as pretty as I can. I tried. All right, so now we have the four main out of the way. Let's remember, as we are doing this, we are in a counterclockwise direction, and that direction, the movement of the moon around Earth is also revolution, right? So it is revolving, right? And it is going in a counterclockwise direction. Okay, so where are we? Let's see. We're good. We're good. So we are going to go ahead and now talk about those in-betweens. And this is something that is very, very important. At the beginning of the new lunar phase cycle, you have light that is going to continue to grow. If you notice here, you were at 0 to 1% light, right? So as it is growing, it is waxing. So we know that this phase will be a waxing phase, right? This phase is also going to be considered your crescent. So you have waxing crescent right here. So what does that look like? Well, if we know that we have light that is growing, we know that it's going to be a little bit more than that, but way less than that. All right. So your waxing crescent can increase up to about 25% light. And notice I did this because waxing means to increase light. Okay, increase light. So let's see what that looks like. That's that little banana shape. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. And remember, right here it says light on the right. So I am not going to color all of this because I only need 25% of that light. I am going to only highlight my light right here. And I'm doing the best that I can. Looks like a little banana. I think I'm doing that okay. All right. And because I know that everything else is shaded, right? We're just going to go ahead and fill this in. Let's fill this in. Because we don't have but 25% light. Now, of course, that is going to increase and grow as you move on through the lunar phase cycle until it gets to the first quarter, which has 50% light. Okay, this is 50% light, and this side is shaded. Remember, the light is on the right. All right. Light is on the right. Okay. And let's shade this one too because light is on the right. I'm sorry, light is on the left, and I need to write that in. So in the second half of the lunar cycle, your light is on the left. All right. I should have just increased that. Okay. So this is 50% decreasing because remember, it is going to be decreasing on this side. And let's just write light on left. Okay. Light on the left for the second half of the lunar cycle. Okay, now that we have the new moon, the waxing crescent, waxing means light is going to increase. It went from crescent, that light increased, to then 50% light. The first quarter, we're still waxing. So over here, we're going to have another waxing phase. This is going to be your waxing. Sorry, let's change that. This is going to be your waxing gibbous. Gibbous, waxing gibbous, which means gibbous means more than half. So that means that more than half of this phase is going to be illuminated. Notice how the light is increasing. So if it's half here, it's going to be more than half here, but it won't be completely lit until you get to the full moon. So we're going to make it like this. And we're going to have more than half of that phase illuminated. So let's go ahead and illuminate more than half. All right, doing the best I can with my drawing. And we're going to shade the rest to make sure that we're not confused because it's only about 75% illuminated. It's not 100% yet. Okay, so right here we have 75% of illumination. However, full moon, now you have the entire moon. This is where you see people talk about the werewolves come out during the full moon phases, right? So you have your full moon is at 100%. And then now we are in that phase where the light is going to begin to decrease. Okay, over here you have light increasing because that is the waxing phase. But now you have light that is waning away or disappearing. So right here we're going to have a waning phase. And this waning is the gibbous because still it's going to be more than half of the light, right? It's just that now that we are on the second half, the light is on the left. And if you look, it's going to look exactly like this, just opposite. So we are going to go ahead and do this, get this going like this. And we are going to make sure that our light shines bright on the left side. All right. And y'all are going to practice this and you're going to master it and you're going to be like, wow, awesome. Okay, we're good? Awesome. Okay, so right there, you have a 75% light illumination, but remember, this is going to be 75% in the decreasing phase. This side is decreasing, this side is increasing, right? Because it's going to eventually increase from 75% to 100%, but the second half of the lunar phase cycle begins to decrease, right? Waning means to decrease. And so that's when that 100% is now going to go back to 75%. Everything is the same exact cycle, it's just on the opposite side of the phase. So then we have 100%. Right here, 75% decrease. Right here, we have that 50% decrease. Notice the light is on the left. So if the light is still on the left and we're still decreasing, right, we're going to be here now. We're going to be at the waning crescent. Waning crescent. And crescent just means about 25% light. Gibbous it's saying it's more than half, okay? So, and also you'll hear crescent is less than half, all right? So we know it's crescent. We know it's going to look exactly like this one. So we know the light is on the left, right? So that means our little banana shape is going to be on the left side of this phase. Okay? Let's go ahead and shade this in. I don't have the perfect circles, but I think I did pretty good. What y'all think? Okay? All right, let's go ahead and put this back and get some light. Here's our little banana, our 25% crescent, right? There it is. There it is. Okay, so now that we have that, we have completed this lunar phase cycle. Yes, we have. So right here we have 25% decrease. Notice I'm putting decreasing on this side because eventually it's going to go back to, yep, your new moon phase, right? So here we are. Let's see, make sure we have everything. I also want to give you a few notes for you to make sure you write down in between each cycle, and I'm just going to use a different color to kind of write this out, but you have 3 to 4 days, right? It takes for each cycle to meet the next in about 3 to 4 days. So for example, from the new moon to the first quarter, that would be 25% of the lunar phase cycle. That's where that quarter word comes from. So that would be 25% of the light, but it took 3 to 4 days. So this would be about 1 week. So you have 1 week, then 2 weeks, then 3 weeks, and then a full month. Okay? So it's in between each phase is 3 to 4 days. That's something very, very important for you to remember. Remember that this entire lunar phase cycle is about 28 to 30 days. Okay? For a complete lunar phase cycle. And if you have this already taken down, you are going to be fine. And here is my finished product. I think I did really, really well. What y'all think? I did good. Really well. Yes. Awesome. And that is your lunar phase cycle illustration. Make sure you take your notes. Make sure you have this taken care of. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.